What's up, folks? cryptoFOXXY here. Thanks so much for stopping by the channel. So in this quick video, we are going to quickly discuss XRP. XRP is set to launch their ETF here very shortly, and we're going to talk about the timeline and what to expect here in this video. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and follow me on X as well if you are watching over there. So we got some breaking news here today um, from NASDAQ, actually, talking about the upcoming launch of XRP. I'm just taking a look at the chart right now, seeing where XRP is sitting. Currently in an uptrend right now on the 1 hour chart, XRP and Tether. And sitting at about $2.38 right now. So still yet to receive any kind of movement from that news. However, it's not too late to really take a look at XRP, because XRP right now is still undervalued in my opinion. We were seeing prices in the $3 range, and we're now sitting very well under that. So definitely some room to grow there. So the launch of the first exchange traded fund, or ETF, spot ETF in the United States. There's other countries like Canada actually has one. It is imminent right now in the United States. Canary Capital recently submitted their Form 8-A filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission, potentially setting the stage for its first spot ETF centered around XRP to be listed on the NASDAQ exchange either today or tomorrow. It's looking like it's probably going to happen tomorrow. Today is pretty much, it's almost 6 o'clock Eastern time right now. So it's probably going to be tomorrow. But is it ready for prime time? Well, the market capitalization of XRP right now is $141 billion. This is the third largest cryptocurrency by market capitalization, and it only trails behind Bitcoin and Ethereum. We also have Tether in there as well. But it's a stable coin, so we don't usually count stable coins to be, obviously a crypto. You know what I mean? So the Canary XRP ETF would begin trading under the NASDAQ XRPC ticker symbol, and this could be purchased through most major brokerages. So, and a lot of people say, well, it's an ETF. It doesn't really, it's like buying stocks. So that's true. However, the company that you're buying the asset through, they actually have to hold it for you if it's a spot ETF, right? This is not something that's a future. It's not a futures contract or anything like that, where futures, they don't actually have to hold your funds for you, but they do have to in this case where it's a spot ETF. Now, the launch of the ETF could indirectly expand the market for the token. For example, investors who wanted to exposure to the token, but they don't want to open an account with a crypto exchange, or they don't want to manage their own wallet. They don't necessarily trust crypto. They hear the bad stories, that kind of thing. But they still want to get exposure to XRP because they believe XRP is, it's a legitimized company, right? It's been around, it's tested the waters, it's stood its test of time. So that is a different story, because XRP is a solid blue chip crypto, right? So it's kind of on it'll be it's it's received differently than, say, meme coins and other things, right? So, some people do want to get into crypto, but they just don't want to get into crypto, if you know what I mean. So they will buy shares of the ETF through platforms such as E-Trade, Fidelity, etc. Now, the fund is expected to have an annual management fee of about 0.5%. Not too bad, considering in crypto we have trading fees and things like that. You have to manage your own funds. So this is a very, very easy process for people who are already into the stock world. Now, Canary is presumably going to purchase XRP tokens to supply its ETF. That's usually how it works. They have, so many people want X amount of tokens. They actually have to go out and buy them and hold them for them. So investors in the ETF won't own the tokens directly. They're going to own equity in the fund that holds them. What does this really mean for XRP? Well, like I said, it can bring in a ton of investors to XRP who might not necessarily be into crypto. Now, the token's integration into new financial instruments could wind up being a substantially positive performance catalyst. So that's something that we're looking at. Obviously, I'm keeping track of it. I'm really interested in seeing where this is going to take the price. As we know, we'll zoom out a little bit here and take a look at the broader picture of XRP. I'm just here. I'm going to zoom out on my chart here. We'll see what we got going on here. So yeah, recently, not that long ago, this was back in July, we can see XRP was sitting here at about $3.63. So, we wicked down. This was that massive drop that we saw last month down to $1.26. I bought that up like crazy. I swing traded that. up, made a ton of, a ton of money off of XRP futures on that trade. And, it was just one of those things. It was like, wow, this is happening. Wow, why is XRP going so low? And boom. But anyways, that was definitely an outlier. That's not a normal day of crypto and not a normal day for XRP. You can see the price went back up pretty quickly. So taking a look at this, guys, we are in a little bit of a downtrend here, but we could, take that as a pretty decent opportunity here to potentially get into something before it really pops off. But again, this is crypto. Don't take any of this as financial advice, and it could be a sell the rumor news, right? Sometimes that happens. Sometimes people are preparing for listings or even ETFs and preparing to make some money off those moves. Now, however, looking at the chart, that is a little bit less likely unless you're one of the people that we're holding down in here. So I'm thinking that we could potentially see this move for a positive for XRP rather than a sell the news event. However, always be cautious, use some stop loss when you're trading, and etc. So I just want to make you guys aware that I have started a Patreon group. So in the inner circle, what you can get in my Patreon, you're going to have access to my personal portfolio. So I'm going to give you the assets that I'm holding, what percentage they hold of value in my portfolio. And this is going to be updated weekly. And I'm also going to disclose when I buy and sell any assets in my portfolio in real time. I've been doing that this week. I just started this Patreon. I've been giving my Patreons notice when I buy and sell. I've done that actually a few times, made probably a few $100 so far just this week, just in the last few days. It's been going pretty well. I'm going to also do members only live streams, pre-recorded videos just for members, a live Q&A for inner circle members. That's going to be here and there, just kind of when I have time to do that. But it's going to be something that obviously I'm going to wait till I have a few members in there first. I got a couple already. Get a couple more, and then maybe we'll do like ask me questions and see what just kind of interact directly. I always like that. I always like answering people's questions and such. I'm also going to do a members only portfolio. So we're going to build a diversified portfolio from scratch, and we're going to watch its progress together. So this is not going to be something that's just AI related or DeFi or anything like that. We're going to build an actual diversified portfolio that somebody that new is getting into crypto might want to take a look at, maybe get some ideas. And I'm not telling you to buy and sell when I buy and sell, and I'm not telling you to buy the coins that I'm buying in this portfolio. I'm just showing you guys how it can be done and how to basically navigate the crypto space. You're going to have access also to direct message me through Patreon, and I can also review your portfolio, help talk to you about, maybe what you want to look at doing, or what, figuring out your risk tolerance, what you want to do next, how kind you want to expand your portfolio, those types of things. I can certainly help you out with that as well. If you're having trouble with wallets, learning how to trade, that kind of thing, I can certainly help you with the knowledge that I have as well. So having said that, guys, go over, check out the link in the description below to my Patreon. Hopefully I'll see you guys over there, and hopefully we'll see XRP trading tomorrow on the ETF. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.